Hello, and welcome to the Well-Read Monocle. Today, we are turning the pages of a truly singular work of dark fantasy, Hollow, by Brian Catling. If you are familiar with Catling's previous work, the Vor trilogy, you will know to expect the unexpected, a blend of the surreal, the grotesque, and the historically rich. Hollow takes us to a landscape dominated by Das Kegel, a jagged mountain that is actually the collapsed ruin of the Tower of Babel. Here, high art meets low mire, and the boundaries between the painted world and the living world begin to dissolve. It is a story of a mercenary band on a perilous journey, a corrupt monastery guarding a terrible secret, and a mother seeking vengeance. Let us embark on this journey together. Section 1, The Mercenaries and the Oracle. Our story begins in the harsh, snow-swept wilderness of 16th century Europe. We are introduced to Barry Follett, a hardened mercenary leader with a fist of a heart. Follett has been hired by the High Church for a peculiar and secretive mission, to transport a new oracle to the remote monastery of the Eastern Gate before the holy season of Lent begins. This oracle is not a majestic seer, but a shriveled, grotesque entity carried in a crate. It has a very specific diet. It feeds on the marrow of bones, but only if those bones have been steeped in the confessions of sinners. To facilitate this, Follett has assembled a band of men with dark pasts, murderers, thieves, and brigands, who must whisper their darkest sins into a box of bones, the pyx, to season the marrow for the oracle. The band includes the loyal but weary Alvarez, the flamboyant, poetry-quoting killer Pearlbinder, the quiet, uncanny Calker brothers, the insolent youth known simply as the Kid, and Tarrant, a man who seems somewhat detached from reality. They have already executed their scriven, for the crime of writing down their confessions, an act Follett, who distrusts the written word, viewed as treachery. Their journey is fraught with surreal dangers. They encounter a giant with a dog's head, a reference to the ancient depiction of Saint Christopher, who helps them cross a raging cataract. They are forced to navigate a pitch-black tunnel through the ice, a passage that stars them of light and hope, eventually spitting them out at the very summit of Das Kegel. From there, they must spiral down the mountain to reach the monastery at its base. Section 2, The Monastery and the Abbot. While Follett's men descend the mountain, we shift our gaze to the destination, the monastery of the Eastern Gate. This is no ordinary house of God. It guards the Gland of Mercy, a horrifying, enclosed valley where the dead fight a perpetual war against the living. It is said that this gland contains the world's quota of horror, shielding humanity from the true magnitude of death. The monastery is ruled by Abbot Clementine, a man consumed by ambition and a fear of mortality. The previous oracle, known as Quiet Teschiant, has died, but Clementine has kept this a secret, even from his own brethren. He is desperately trying to extract the secret of immortality from the fading essence of the dead oracle, hoping to use the incoming replacement to cement his eternal power. Opposing him, albeit quietly, is Friar Benedict. Benedict is an irascible, curious scholar who notices that the monastery, and the surrounding lands, are becoming infested with strange, hybrid creatures. These beings, known as wobegots or filthlings, resemble the grotesque figures found in the paintings of Hieronymus Bosch. Benedict suspects that these creatures are not merely demons, but art come to life, born from the vivid imagination of the Dutch master and escaping into reality. Benedict recruits a young, innocent novice named Dominic, whose voice was temporarily stolen by the spirit of the dead oracle. Together, they travel to a nearby stronghold to view a Bosch painting, confirming Benedict's fears. The creatures in the painting are identical to the ones plaguing their home. The barrier between image and substance has been breached. Section 3, Meg and the Filthlings. Down in the town at the foot of the mountain, amidst the mud and squalor, we meet our third protagonist, Meg Verstrijden, known unkindly by the locals as Dolgret, a nod to the famous Bruegel painting Dolgriet. Meg is a butcher's wife, trapped in a loveless marriage to a drunken fool named Clovmux. Her only joy was her son, Diarcx, who was taken away by the corrupt police force, the Kabbalist is, for a minor infraction. Meg's life changes when she encounters a filthling in her garden, a weasel-like creature named Gef who speaks with a Cockney accent. Unlike the superstitious townsfolk who kill these creatures, Meg listens to them. Gef reveals that the filthlings are gathering, and they view Meg as a mother figure. They offer her a pact: if she helps them, they will help her rescue her son. This alliance leads to a plan of chaotic revenge. As the town prepares for the raucous festival of Carnival, the last days of excess before the austerity of Lent, Meg and her strange allies plot to poison the beer supplies of the garrison, incapacitating the guards to pave the way for a jailbreak. Section 4. The convergence. As the narrative spirals toward its conclusion, these three threads, the mercenaries, the monks, and the townswomen, converge. On the mountain, Follett's band begins to disintegrate. The journey down the spiral track of Das Kegel is physically and metaphysically disorienting. They pass hollows in the rock that were once the libraries of Babel, where the humus of words has generated life. One of the Kalka brothers is seduced by a shell-like creature and lost to the mountain. Tarrant is revealed to be a ghost, a man who was never fully present, simply ceasing to exist by the roadside. The kid is killed by Follett after a moment of insolence. By the time they reach the town, only Follett, Pearlbinder, and Alvarez remain, battered and bloodied, carrying the oracle. They arrive at the height of the carnival, just as Meg's plan goes into effect. The town is a bedlam of drunken revelry, mock battles between Carnival and Lent, and the rising chaos of the filthlings' intervention. A violent skirmish erupts at the city gate. In the confusion, the mercenaries are slaughtered by the guards, but not before the oracle is tossed to safety. It is Friar Benedict who steps into the bloody fray to retrieve the sacred creature, carrying it into the sanctuary of the monastery. Section 5. The climax and resolution. Inside the monastery, the final confrontation takes place. Abbot Clementine attempts to seize the new oracle, desperate to use it for his own dark rituals. However, he is rejected. The oracle, now awake and speaking clearly with the stolen voices of the dead mercenaries, condemns Clementine. The abbot is cast into the Gland of Mercy, not as a participant, but as a perpetual observer. He is doomed to watch the endless, grinding battle of the dead forever, unseen and unable to intervene, granted the immortality he craved but in the form of an eternal hell. Friar Benedict assumes control of the abbey, restoring order. He acknowledges the new reality, that the imagination has power, and the world is stranger than the Church's dogma would admit. In the town, the poison does its work. The guards fall, and the prison is breached. Meg is reunited with her son, Dircx. She stands amidst the carnage of the carnival, no longer Dol Gret, but a warrior woman who has reclaimed her life. The filthlings, their purpose served and their existence in this realm fading, begin to vanish, leaving the human world changed but intact. Hollow is a dense, atmospheric exploration of the power of words and images. Brian Catling posits a world where the debris of language and art, specifically the fever dreams of Hieronymus Bosch, can take on flesh and blood. It is a story about the hollowness of greed and the terrifying fullness of the imagination. The mountain of Das Kegel stands as a monument to human hubris, a fallen tower where stories rot and ferment into new life. In the end, the characters who survive are those who respect the unknown, Meg with her maternal fierce loyalty, and Benedict with his humble curiosity. Those who seek to dominate it, like Follett and Clementine, are consumed. Thank you for joining me for this summary of Hollow. If you enjoyed this journey into the weird and the wonderful, do subscribe to the Well-Read Monocle for more literary explorations. Until next time, keep your pages turning.